Glenn Ellingson here since the beginning, 50 years of Green Timber's life. So your parents started coming to this study group that they were doing, and eventually they brought you. What was your first interaction and your impression of Green Timbers?
Okay, so at that time it wasn't Green Timbers, it was just the fellowship group with Vic and Dorothy, Ed and Dick, and so on. And we had, when we got here to Surrey, we went to a few churches in the first few months, but we didn't. My brother and I weren't happy. We wanted to go back to our church, which was the Covenant Church in Calgary. But when we came to the Green Timbers group, we felt right away pretty much at home. They all had younger kids, our age, welcoming, just really hospitable, really welcomed.
Good. And so somewhere along there, you guys called Albert. Was he from your church in Calgary? Is that
my dad and Albert grew up together back in Manitoba when they were young kids, and Albert actually married my mom and dad in Calgary, but he was a pastor in Edmonton at the time, and that's when they had called him to come because they were talking about trying to get a covenant church here, and very excited because he was going to bring Neil along. Neil was at CBC that year when they moved here, so Neil moved from CBC to Surrey. So my brother and I were very excited because we kind of idolized Neil. So.
A growing church needs to be passionate about something. What would you say was sort of the passion at the heart of Green Timbers at the start?
I would say probably, and in large part due to Albert, was welcoming, hospitable, a place that you kind of felt at home when you walked through the door. Okay. And so we were always, there was always something going on here. You know, we had Sunday morning, Sunday evening, Tuesday night was Bible study, Wednesday was choir practice, Friday was youth group, Saturday was a ball game. You know, so there was always something going on.
How many different sports teams have you played on here at Green Timbers? Different sports.
Different sports. There was fastball, which Albert was, of course, passionate about. And then hockey later on, and basketball when Wally Coots got here. We got a basketball team going in the church league. And then we always had a curling thing. It wasn't really a league or a team, but it was always, again, Albert's passion. Okay. Yeah.
All right, and you just mentioned Wally Coots. Wally was a youth minister.
Yeah. Sonia and I were at CBC the year that he was called to come here. So when I came home from CBC, he was here and doing the youth work. I thought it was fantastic. The kids just loved Wally and Donna. They were magnetic personality. They were people who just come to be in Wally's youth group, and I think he's done that wherever he's gone.
So from your early days at the church, what did you learn about being a disciple, and what stuck with you through those years?
I think being a disciple is to live out what Jesus taught us, love one another, service, which I was involved in a lot of things here at church, different committees and teaching and so on. So I think that's what I learned from Albert. I mean, when we left CBC, got home, Albert, I think, called me the next day and said, "You need to teach Whirlybirds and Jet Cadets, the midweek kids program."
I think I told you the same thing when I got here.
You gotta do this. Yeah.
All right. All right. So you've been involved in many ways. Then you said during the what's been your favorite way to serve, and how has that impacted you?
Favorite way to serve. Probably, I did love teaching Sunday school with the younger kids. I think I taught Josie and Megan. And I love being on the worship team. I mean, I'm not a great guitar player by any stretch. I'm no Joel McLaurin. But I do love to be up there with people and see people singing and being involved.
What would you say has had your biggest impact on your faith during your time here?
What person or
Just what? Sure. What person? What? Anything. What?
Yeah.
Has had the biggest impact?
Right. I can point to three people: Albert, Neil, and excuse me, Paul Lessard.
Did you?
Yeah, I mean Albert was welcoming to everybody. He was a recruiter, a cheerleader, and Neil always made you feel important. And same with Paul, because he was instrumental in our youth group. That's why I play the guitar. It's because Paul would have people over to his little space, when he was growing up, and sit for hours and play guitar. And I thought, that's what I want to do, to spend time with him.
Mm-hmm. Do you think you have had an impact on people, and how do you think you've impacted people in the church?
You always hope that you've made a difference. I hope I made a difference to young people, the kids that are growing up here.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about the DNA of the church. It's been a phrase we've been using lately. Yeah. What would you say then is the DNA of Green Timbers that makes it special? What are the three things that are part of our DNA?
I would say love one another, welcoming, not judging, but your actions are what you're speaking. What you say is what you do.
And how have you seen the church change over the years?
Again, I wouldn't say the church itself has changed. I think everybody who's come here has felt welcomed. Like I said, the area has changed, so it's not as easy. But I think we still, when people come, they feel like they're part of something. Right.
What advice would you have for the church as they're heading into the next 50 years?
From my experience, again, when people would come or you invite people here, they feel like you're important to them and you want them here. So I would continue with the open arms, the open doors feeling, and not like, nobody said hi to me when I came in. I don't think that's ever been the case. I've gone to other churches and you walk in and you walk out. Nobody says hi. And I don't think that happens here.